So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. As most of you know, every single Wednesday at 12 Eastern, from 12 to 1, we like to interview a real-life trader, hear their story, ask them questions, and most importantly, learn from their journey, learn from their progress, learn from their mistakes, learn from their successes, and hopefully become better people. Today, I have a really special guest on the show. This is the first time ever that we had a son-father duo. Back in March, we interviewed Jonah Lafreniere, and this is his dad and a real-life trader, very special gentleman and wonderful guy, Bob. So, Bob, how are you, my friend?
Good. I'm doing great. First thing I want to say, congratulations to you and Ashley. Pretty exciting news.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, it's super exciting news.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was crazy nervous. we were going on we were going to go on the hot air balloon. She's like, "I'm so scared. I'm so nervous." I'm like, "I'm nervous too." And she thought I was talking about the balloon.
That's great.
Yeah, man. It was really fun. So, Bob, tell everyone where you live, your background a little bit, share a little bit about your story and your family.
Sure. It's going to take me a little while to unfold my story, but it's a good one. I promise you. I live in Connecticut. I grew up here, and I live on the shoreline in Connecticut on Long Island Sound. Let's see my trading journey really. In 2012, my father had asked me to get involved and do some stock trading. He had always done some. He had taken some education classes at a place where we all kind of know. Jeremy used to work there many years ago, I guess now. But anyway, and we'd taken some classes there, and he wanted me to get involved. But I was, be honest with you, I was not financially in a good place. I had a lot of debt. I was up to my eyeballs in debt. I have 3 kids, and I was kind of foolish. I didn't really know what I was doing, kind of playing around. And so I never really got involved in it. And then my life changed dramatically in 2013. On April 24th, 2013, I won some money in the lottery. I hit Powerball, and I won only $1 million, but doesn't necessarily sound like it's a lot of money. But let me tell you something, there's more money than I had ever seen in one time.
Yeah.
And so, it was definitely an answer to prayer for me, because I was just barely keeping afloat, and life was pretty tough. Just making the impounding debt, falling on your shoulders. It was quite a thing. So having that relief was huge. But I needed to change my life, and the first thing I did with some good advice from my father and mother was, get on a budget, figure out what you're doing, pay off all your debt, and don't ever go back there. And I have to tell you, one thing that really impacted me the most when I was picking up at lottery headquarters, picking up my winnings, there was the woman who was doing an interview. She did an interview, and there was so they could write a short story for the lottery homepage, for Powerball's homepage.
Yeah.
And she had said to me, and I thought it was a very frightening statistic, but she told me that she said 85% of all lottery winners in 5 years won't have a dime of the money that they won.
Wow.
That is a staggering number, and I vowed that I would not be in that group of that 85% of people. So.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy that happened like that. I mean, it couldn't have happened to a better person, because it really. I feel like I remember when you emailed me that actually too. I think it was just like a year or so after.
Yeah.
One, you kind of let me know, and it was because at the time I was just so happy that occurred. How did mentally, what steps did you take to kind of get prepared for the budget and the financial responsibilities of keeping that money around? What steps did you take? Did you start reading books? Did you do mentors? What did you do from there?
Really, the first thing I did was I went and saw my accountant, and I had used him he's a CPA, and he had a lot of big high dollar value clients in our area, where I am in Connecticut. We're kind of a suburb of New York and Boston, so you have a lot of people that live here, have their vacation homes here. A lot of the there's actors, actresses, professional ball players and so on. They live out in this area. So there's, so this high-end accountant had been recommended. So I went to go see him. And some of the things he told me to do, first thing was to go see a financial planner, and then go interview a few of them and decide if there's one you wanted to use, if there was one in particular. So I'd gone to see a few of them. And the whole time I was doing that, I really got this nagging feeling that I didn't really need their help, that I could do this on my own. And that I really, with a little guidance from my father, I could probably invest my money and figure this all out. Mm-hmm. So that's when I kind of started. I started really diving into trading classes and learning about stocks and options, and just going through the whole thing. It was that was really my first step into kind of righting the ship. And as I had this large sum of money, I just let it sit there for a while, and I didn't do anything with it because I was afraid to do something wrong with it. So honestly, I didn't do anything right away.
Right.
It was just sitting in the bank in like a savings account, crazy, yeah. But that's where it was for a little while. Then I started slowly moving it over into. I had some mutual funds that I figured I would just move some money over. And on some good advice, I refinanced my home rolled it into like a 15-year mortgage, just to shorten up the term, because I certainly had the available funds. I could have paid it off, but it was recommended that I keep the mortgage, because it would be help for write-offs and things like that. It might help, especially in the first few years.
Yeah.
And my plan was to invest enough money that what I made on the money, whatever I made on it, would pay my mortgage, so I wouldn't have anything. So I paid off all my debt. I had all my credit card debt. I had a home equity loan. I took loans against my 401k. I mean, I was a mess, but I took care of all of it, paid it all off. And I can tell you, even to this day, now it's a little over 5 years, I have zero debt. I have nothing.
Nice. So. Nice, man. It's so amazing. I mean, but again, the thing is, the big takeaway is you just didn't blow it. Like you still have your job too. That's the other thing I want people to know. Tell a little bit about that decision. Like, why your job? What was that like? Because most people, they win $1 million, like, oh, I quit forever.
Yeah, I had a couple of the reasons were mostly financial. At the time I work for a commuter railroad, and I'm a conductor on a commuter railroad, and I had 20 at the time I had 20 years in out of, I had to put in 30. So I had 20 years in, and having that much time invested in, I didn't want to leave, because I had such a great pension coming at the end of the 30-year mark. And there was no reason to leave that behind, but also, it was that steady income coming in. So there was no fear that, like $1 million is not what it used to be. Who can, it's sad to say, but who can really live on $1 million, and it wasn't even $1 million when you look at it, because after taxes and everything else, it was a little over $500,000, to be honest with you. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're 100% right. That's the thing that a lot of people forget, is they go, oh, you won $1 million. That you have $1 million now. Not quite.
No, not quite at all.
Nope.
No.
You got to pay the taxes, and have to pay everything off. It's not there, but
absolutely.
It's a huge story, man. And again, it couldn't have happened to a better person. I'm so glad that you're in that state. Well, how far did your dad live away from you?
Currently he's in Florida now, but at the time he was only about maybe 15 minutes away. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What part of Florida is he living now?
He's in Delray Beach.
Delray Beach. All right.
Yeah.
You go to Disney World pretty often.
I do, actually. Yeah. At least once a year, it seems like. So. I own their stock, so I let them pay for my trips.
That's right, man. That's right. That's very, very smart. So yeah, tell people a little bit about your stock strategy. What was that transition from, okay, I want to do this myself, I don't need a financial planner? Tell us a little bit about the journey of books, the classes. How'd you find a strategy that you liked, and when did it click for you?
Well, I actually didn't do a whole lot in the beginning. I took all the classes in 2013 and even into 14. and I was just paper trading, just trying to find my way. I had no real strategy. I was just trying to figure things out. So my original strategy was just, I want to buy some companies that pay dividends and, and that look like they're going to continue to go up and pay dividends. And I'm just going to keep reaping the dividends. That was my first strategy. And I come to find out that you have to have a lot of stock to make having that many dividends become a profitable strategy. So I just didn't have that. I just didn't have that kind of buying power that I wanted. So I honestly took I took a class. It was an advanced trade management class, and I learned about covered calls and put sales, and that pretty much changed my life because I took a small sum of money, like $25,000, I think it was originally when I started, and my wife and I had made an agreement that if I could trade $25,000 and not lose it all, that she'd let me continue to trade it. So I kind of was motivated because I wasn't gonna, didn't want to fail,
Yeah.
So I took that money and I was able to start selling puts on it. And I just found some companies. I tend to sell puts on companies that tend to be volatile. I do a lot of pharmaceuticals. They tend to have a lot of volatility because their premiums are higher. But it's funny because when I look at what I'm going to sell a put, my biggest concerns for me personally are how much premium is it going to bring in. It doesn't matter to me where the price is per se. I mean, but it does over time it developed more. But in the beginning, I would sell something very far away. If something was at, say, trading at like you have the DocuSign chart up right now, just to say if something was trading at around $62, I would trade it at $56 and I would get 25 cents or 30 cents, but I would sell a bunch of it, and I would sell as many contracts as I had capital for and take that. And then knowing that I would almost never get put to stock. So it was like free money. And I just did it over and over and over again. And within a little over a year and a half, actually a little less than a year and a half, I doubled the account.
Nice.
And then, so now I also learned the amazing thing about the more money that you have to trade, the more money that you'll make, because for the same principles, you can buy more, sell more contracts and make more premium on every single one. So I often will sell a little bit farther away and take a little less money, but I'll sell more contracts. But it's more of for me, it's more of a sure thing that I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get put to stock on it. So I don't worry about it. Yeah. I mean, if I do get put to stock on it, then I just turn around and I sell covered calls, which is the other great side to that. There's no, there's a way to make money on both ends, really.
Absolutely. So what was the first stock that you got put shares on? Do you remember?
Oh, well, usually those are the ones you never forget, and it was United States Steel.
Okay, U.S. Steel. All right.
Oh, it killed me. It killed me. Yeah, it was. I think that was back in 2015, 14 or 15. Had a big drop. It went from in the 20s down to 14, and it was a killer drop. So.
Yeah. Now, did you hold through all of that, or what ended up happening?
Well, yeah, it was a little stupid, and yes, I did hold through most of that. I held through a lot of it. I did get out. I think I got out. I think I got out around 12, but I think I had the $20 puts, and I think I didn't get out. I got put to shares, and I didn't get out until about 12. But I learned that was a valuable lesson, and my trading plan has evolved over time. Certainly, I've added rules and so on.
Absolutely.
I'm actually living out one of my rules right now on IRBT, iRobot. So, because that thing, I sold a cover call on that. I heard you talking about it in the trading room, in the recording for the room last night. That I probably bought it back. I did, but I didn't buy it back quite as fast as I wanted to. It moved way faster than I wasn't at my computer, and I didn't have an order in because I never expected it to go. I figured it would run into that resistance at around 71 and then come back down a little bit, would give me a chance to get out. But look at it. I mean, it's off to the races. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge.
So I did buy it back, but I did take a hit. I almost lost 2R on it. So.
on the covered call itself.
Yeah, to buy back the cover call, but that's okay because I'm still making out on the shares, so I'm doing okay. So
Right, exactly. Still have the equity, still have the actual shares.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, gotcha. So what made you pick iRobot? How long have you been in this one?
It's funny. I just got into that one around. I think I got into it in February. So this year. So it was. I got in when it was around 88 or 89 to 86, maybe about 86, I think it was.
Okay.
And then I had the big drop, the big gap down.
Yep.
And I decided I was just going to hold through the gap down because it was a long. I don't have a lot of it, but it was going to be a longer term position.
Sure.
So I held on to it. I've been waiting for it. Now it's coming back up to about break even for me now. So I'll sell cover calls on it now all the way up. So
gotcha. So how
how
long will you hold iRobot, or like do you not care if you get called away profitably, or do you want to do like short term, long term capital gains, or
if I'm profitable, I don't care to get called away, and I'll just rebuy it on the dip. I don't have a problem with that. I didn't want to get called away at 71, obviously, because I owned it at 86. That was way too much of a hit. But I had sold throughout this whole move from the probably like March or so. I've been selling cover calls on it for almost weekly. So I tend to do a lot of weekly stuff. I don't do too much far out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sell too many put sales out, or cover calls out too far. I kind of stick to weekly or 2 weeks away. That's usually that's kind of my bread and butter within a week or two. So.
I like it. Okay. So what other, do you trade ETFs as well, or just companies?
Generally not. No, mostly just companies. I have 6 or 7 that are on my list that I kind of watch constantly. And I've been doing a lot more. At the beginning of this year, it was kind of a rough beginning of the year. I actually had my first real big down month in quite some time, and I kind of reevaluated a little bit, and I started staying away from options a little bit, and I've been trading more shares lately. So I've been in on shares of course, IQ, BILI, Sogo. I'm in all of those right now, which are off the charts.
Yeah. So those are all recent moves. Good for you, man.
Oh yeah, those are all recent. Recent stuff. The only thing I really have been holding long term at this point. One of the first stocks I bought was CVRR. That one I've been holding. I've had that one since I think 2014. That's one of the first ones I bought.
Okay.
It pays a dividend, pays a nice dividend, and I own quite a bit of it, and I've been, it's finally back up to where I bought it, pretty close to it. So, and it's just a long-term hold. It's been paying me a nice quarterly dividend. It's a limited partnership, so it pays out a partnership fee. So It's been pretty good. I've done very well with that one. I've been holding that one for quite a while. And Kronos Group is the other one I've had now for about a year and a half.
Was that CRON?
CRON, yeah, and that's I bought that down at $1.35.
God, wow.
So I've been holding that one for quite a while. I have quite a bit of that. That's a Canadian. It's basically based in Canada, and it's a marijuana stock. And I've kind of been holding it because Canada is supposed to be legalizing it in sometime this year. I think July or August, maybe.
Yeah.
So I was just it was more of a speculative play that it would take off if that became legal in Canada.
Sure. So how'd you find out about this particular company? Because there's a lot of those.
Yeah, I actually had a friend that had done a lot of research on them, different marijuana companies, and he said this is one you should get into. Check it out; it's pretty cool. And it was low, and I kind of did a little research on it, and I saw that they were buying up all the smaller growers and all the smaller purveyors in Canada. They started buying up here and there, and they were getting bigger and bigger. And I decided, you know what, this one might be the one to get involved in. And so far, it's been pretty good to me. So.
Gotcha. Okay. So on something like, what was it, CCVR?
CVRR, yeah.
CVRR. So do you, dollar cost average, do you add more to your position over time? How does that work on a longer term position for you personally?
I did actually buy some more when it was down. That was the first time I'd ever actually really done it. I bought some down when it was around $10. And I bought up another lot of it, and then so I had like 3 separate lots that I bought over time.
Sure.
And now I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of holding on to it. I don't know that if I'll ever get rid of it. It's kind of sentimental value with being one of the first stocks I bought. So
sure.
So I kind of been holding on to it. But
no, it makes sense. And do you reinvest the dividends to buy more shares, or do you just let them go into your account?
I've been letting them go into my account. And I've been using them to sell puts. So, using it to add it to that money, have that capital sitting there. So
I love it. That's phenomenal. So how's 2018 looking for you so far?
It started out rough, really rough, but it's coming around now. This month has been, I think by far, June has been my best month. So I'm up about 15R right now, realized, and I certainly have a lot more than that unrealized because of those 3 IPOs a lot of us are in. So
yeah, wow, good job,
so
man.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good month. So better than some lately. So it's been good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, that's fantastic. Very, very glad to hear that. What type of account do you trade in? Is it just a regular old cash account, or is it an IRA?
No, it's just a regular cash account. I trade with TD Ameritrade. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so do you also use Thinkorswim?
I do not actually.
No.
I've never really gotten into it. Probably for the first few years of my trading life, I was a train conductor, so I'm on a train, or I'd be somewhere far away or not near a computer. So I did the reason I started with TD Ameritrade was the app on their phone for my phone was fantastic.
Right.
So I was doing most of my trading on my phone.
Oh.
Putting in my orders, doing everything from my phone, and it's so funny. I've gotten so used to it. Even when I'm sitting at the computer looking at a chart, I'll pick up my phone and put an order in on my phone, even to this day. So almost never use the actual computer to do anything.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not the most tech savvy person in the world, but I just find that the app is so easy to use, and I just use it. It works for me, so.
Yeah, and man, if it works, keep doing it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. That's wonderful. So how much longer do you have at work? What's your plans as far as employment or trading full time? What does that look like for you?
I have no plans of trading full time per se. I don't day trade. I did dabble in it for a while. I'm a terrible day trader. I am terrible at day trading, but and I took a lot of paper day trades before I ever day traded, and I don't know. I'm not a very good day trader. Not everybody is, I guess. So I'm not very good at it.
Sure.
But I'm more of I spend maybe an hour a day on the computer looking at trading stuff. That's about it. I've kind of got it down to where an hour a day for Monday through Friday, and then usually on Sunday I'll look again in the evening before the market before market opens, and just try to look and see if there's any setups I want to take. And I usually just set up my orders and I just let them go. I set them and forget them for the most part.
I love that, man. That's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about your this PBYI trade you did. So how do you know with put sales? How do you know when to mitigate your risk, when to buy back? How do you limit your losses on the contracts?
Well, PBYI was, I have to say, PBYI, the one I just had recently, I should have never taken it, but I did.
Yeah.
It was one of those. I have a rule that the stock needs to be in a bullish trend, and if you obviously look at the chart, go looking to the left, it is definitely not in a bullish trend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was kind of a stupid thing, and I paid for it because I ended up having to buy it back. So for less than an R, but I still had to buy it back. So
right.
Lesson learned. One of my major rules for selling puts is it must be in a bullish trend. The stock overall trend must be bullish. The short-term trend could be bearish for a few days, which is good for volatility, and for selling. But I like to see it bounce off of one of the moving averages, or right near the moving averages, so I can sell. That's usually what I try to wait for.
Sure, absolutely. Do you, I mean, you mentioned trading pharmaceuticals, healthcare companies, kind of the volatile ones. Do you trade any tech stocks like Apple, Netflix, Google?
Apple is my nemesis stock.
Oh, is it? Oh, man.
I have not had a single profitable trade on Apple ever. Every time I get burned somehow. I don't know why. But I have to tell you though that I did take this. I did take the weekly option newsletter trade. So
okay,
and it is profitable. So I'm contemplating just closing it. It's not profitable right now. It was for a little bit. So if it's profitable, I might just close it when I get green, just so I can say it's over.
That's funny. Well, hey, that's good motivation. Now that I know that,
Oh, God,
we have a good bullish day tomorrow. I'm just gonna email everyone. Hey guys, so let's close this because of Bob. Give him his one win.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, that stock just kills me. Ugh.
That is so funny. I mean, everyone has one though. Everyone has the nemesis, the one stock that they just that always beats them up.
Yeah, I just cannot trade it for some reason.
Hey, I can understand it, man. I get it. It's I don't know what it is, but everyone has one.
Yeah.
Usually. So you being in the kind of, I guess, transportational sector, being a conductor, are there any transportation stocks that you like long term, or are there any companies that we should be keeping our eyes on that you think are innovative?
I love Tesla.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Tesla. That is the one. That is the one stock that I do sell puts on that that isn't pharmaceutical for the most part. So I'm still in. I still have my 270 puts on Tesla.
Beautiful for September. I think, right?
Yeah, September's. Yeah, I still have those. Which I'm waiting just a little bit more. It's not quite 3/4 of the value out, but when it's to 3/4, I'll actually sell. I'll actually buy those back. So
right. So why Tesla? What about Tesla do you like?
I have some position in Tesla that I've been in since it was $69 a share.
Nice.
I bought some way back, and I just like Elon Musk, and I think he's he's got a plan. I don't always agree with some of the things he says and does, but he always has a plan. He's always thinking far ahead, more so than most people. So.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you on that. The man is incredible.
Yeah, he's a smart dude, so I don't see him losing. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't see him letting the stock lose. So.
Right. What's your thoughts on their whole like the house battery pack connecting to your car kind of vision? Do you buy into that? Is that something that you plan on doing in the future?
I think it's awesome. I mean, anything you can do to reduce our carbon footprint, so to speak. Anything we could do would be huge. And if we can get batteries like that would work, or even his company was a Solar City when they rolled them all together. I mean, even that's a great company. And I was actually invested in a few wind and some other different environmentally friendly companies for a little while. Just to have something to say I did my part a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I can totally dig that, man. Beautiful. So other few questions for you. This is another reason that I definitely want to chat with you as well today, is I know that you are a huge proponent in helping teach children financial literacy and the stock market. How did you go about helping your kids really learn to love this? Because some parents really struggle with that. What was your magic words that you gave them to make them so excited about trading?
I think part of it was, well, first of all, my wife Jessica, when we took trading classes together, we learned a lot. We learned most of it together. I certainly advanced a lot farther than my wife did, but and she prefers not to do the trading, but she understands it. So we're able to talk about it, and we often will talk about different trades, different setups, even just at the dinner table. And so the kids were constantly overhearing conversations. And then as my oldest is just finished his freshman year in college, so he's 19. and he's kind of started looking at some of the classes on in real life trading and trying to absorb it and ask him lots of questions. And then my youngest son, Jonah, who you interviewed back in March, not to be outdone, decided that he was going to do it. So he actually took it a couple of steps farther than my oldest, really, and he actually has a paper trading account, and he will actively trade a couple of stocks at a time. Jonah will, and he has them going on. Yeah, he always asking me about different things. What do you think about this? What do you think of this pattern? Should I get out? And so on. So he's really taken a shine to it, more so than my oldest. And my daughter in the middle has no interest whatsoever. So
yeah.
So
I can understand that, man. I can appreciate that. I mean, is that something that, is it just because they saw you doing it, or did you like play games with them saying, hey, if you do this, I'll kind of pay you this amount of money if you do X, Y, Z? Like, was there some type of
No, I think it was more of a just we were very open about the kids. The kids knew that we had won some money, and they had no idea how much, and we never really talked about how much, but they knew we had, and they knew that life had changed and things were much different. And so we were never really bashful about talking about how where the money was, how it was invested, and so on. And I think just hearing the conversation, just, we didn't talk about specific numbers of what kind of money or anything, but just where it was, and, we moved some money from here to here, or whatever. So they would just hear these conversations, and I think it just piqued their interest to, what are you talking about, a little bit, and it was just being just open about it, and not trying to drill it into them to do it. And once they started showing a little bit of interest, I said, well, you should really look at the classes. They're online. Here's the website. They're free, and kind of just push them a little bit in that direction, and then let them run with it. And then I was just available, just as a parent, just being available. If they have questions, I'm there. My wife is also, like I said, is well versed in this as well. So between the two of us, we're able to answer most of their questions.
I love that so much. So Stephen King has a fun question. He says, was it a quick pick, or did you play numbers?
It was the funny part of the story. If I can find it, I'll post there's a link to my story on the website. If I can find it really quickly here while we're talking.
Okay.
I'll post it in the chat pane so that they can see it.
Okay.
But anyway, it was a quick pick, and Connecticut has this game. It's called Lucky for Life, and Lucky for Life was it would give you $1,000 a day for life. So if you won the grand prize, and it was picked similar to regular lottery numbers.
Right.
And I had like a $4 winner, and I took and usually if I had a winner, I would just roll it and get two more tickets, because $4 would buy me 2 more tickets. So I get just 2 more of the Lucky for Life. That particular day, I was on a break in between my trains, and I was in the newsstand, and I saw that I had a $4 winner. So I said, give me 2 Lucky for Lives. And I didn't do that. I grabbed, I said, last second, I changed my mind. I said, you know what, just give me a Powerball quick pick. And I took one of the Lucky for Lives. And as funny as it is, I won the money on the Powerball quick pick, but I also won on the other ticket too. Not big, but I also won a little bit on the other ticket. I was like, well, it was definitely my day.
That's great, man. That's so great. Again, that's phenomenal that it happened. So here's a personal question. I mean, all these are big personal questions, but did you feel, or did any kind of family resentment or friend resentment or coworkers, did that ever creep into your life? Was that something you ever had to battle with?
Not really. My family was ecstatic. Everybody was excited, of course. That I won. Nobody really. People were would say, "Oh, I'm so jealous," but it wasn't like like a resentful jealous. It was jealous as in, "Wow, that's amazing," But no, not really. I don't think the number was big enough. I mean, as much as not to downplay it, but I don't think the number was big enough.
Sure.
I didn't get crazy phone calls from every charity and around, or looking looking to looking for a donation or anything crazy like that. I did make a whole bunch of donations, that have some certain charities that I enjoy, and I did donate a lot of money to them after I won, because I just felt like I thought for me the money was a gift from God, and I was going to give back to as many people as I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did, and I can honestly tell you that there is no greater feeling than giving away money with no strings attached, just giving it away. It's just, if you've never done it before, it's something that if you can ever do it, it's just something you got to do.
It's incredible.
It really is. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, because money is so visceral to people. I mean, it's different than if you give like a gift or hey, here's a sandwich or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I mean, money has such a dramatic impact, and that's October. I got some. If you want to get with me, Bob, figure out what we can do for October, because October is generosity month.
There we go.
At Real Life Trading. So let me know if you ever have any ideas. We'll think about what we can do. But that's beautiful, man. That is a truly amazing story, and I'm glad that you got to share that with people.
Yeah, me too. I was not sure if I was gonna or not, because it's kind of a personal thing, but this is family. So this group's family. So
that's right.
I feel comfortable enough here to share it. So.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, that's one of those things that this is the crowd of people that are just gonna, it's a very loving thing. There's no resentment. It's like yes, that's incredible. Winning money to pay off debts, to help charities to trade with.
Yes. Right, exactly.
Sign me up.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing,
Sign me up. I love it.
Yeah.
So what are some other, I mean, as far as your approaches are concerned, one of the things that I've always respected about your trading style is that you really do have, for the most part, I would say, 98% of your trades are just the simple, basic, standard things over and over and over again, right? Just to put sales, and if you get put shares, you turn around and do covered calls.
Yeah.
Do you like that because it's been working? Do you feel like you have the need to change, or have you ever felt the need to change, or are you cool just keep doing what you're doing?
You know what? If it works, don't fix it. It's been working for me for several years now, and I've been able to stay out of debt. I've been able to pay putting my son through college, making payments, and I haven't had to touch any investments. My trading has been doing that. So,
wow.
It's pretty amazing. I pay my mortgage with my trading. I pay that, so it's a profitable method and works for me. So I don't see any reason to change,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not at this point, so.
Of course. Huge news. Yeah. So trading's doing that for you, doing put sales, doing covered calls. Do you have, so if Apple's your nemesis stock, do you have a go-to set of, you mentioned you watch like 9 all the time. What are those 9?
All right. I'm just putting in if anyone wants the link to my story, it's in the chat.
There it is. Okay. Thank you.
You can just take a look at it. Yeah. It's fun just to look at,
Sure.
Anyway, let me just bring up my list here. I have an active list going right now. So, hold on 2 seconds, Jeremy.
Yep, no worries. No rush.
Find what I got here. And I can tell you, PBYI is on that list.
Okay.
ACAD.
Yep.
Momo is actually on that list.
You've been crushing that one.
Yeah, I've been selling quite a few puts on Momo. Let me just get back to my covered call and put sale spreadsheet here. I can give you a better picture. Let's see. VRX, another one I've done quite a bit with.
Okay.
Lately, I've been doing EXAS.
Oh, Exact Sciences. Okay.
Yeah, that one kind of entered my in April. That one entered my entered my list in April. So I've been doing quite a bit with that. And I added a few other ones, EDIT and CRSP. Those are the 2 that I've been trading quite a bit recently.
So what's your
So,
thoughts on CRISPR with these nice pullbacks? Are you looking at once it gets into the 100 selling some puts, or what's that like?
yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards at this point. Um, last year I was looking at last year's all my put sales last year. I had 33 put sales. No, sorry, 23 put sales on Acadia Pharmaceutical. I had 15 on PBYI, and I had about 15 on Momo last year. So I had a lot of repeats over and over.
Wow, 23 on Acadia. So, I mean, if
Yeah.
there's 12 months in a year, so you're doing pretty much 2 a month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, I do, like I said, most of mine are weeklies. Everything is weeklies. So I will sell on Thursday or Friday for the following Friday.
Okay.
Unless sometimes I'll put an order in and it doesn't get filled, then I'll look again on Monday, and see what I'm gonna do. I'll look again Monday, if I try to get something filled on something for Monday.
Gotcha.
But
So you do your analysis, you sell the option, kind of like that Thursday time frame, and then
yeah,
do you always buy it back ever early, or do you hold till expiration always?
I almost never buy it back unless unless I need to unless free up some capital. So I can sell another one if I have some other really, so I might buy it back then, but generally I don't. I have this crazy, this crazy thing that I do with it whenever I sell a put, I have it in like the notes section of my phone. I write down the total that it brought in, and then I have a breakdown, and I have so if it brought in, say if it brought in $1,000, then I have I'll automatically in my phone I break it down in my notes, and I have $100 is immediately goes to charity, $100 goes to taxes, $150 will go to out of that 1,000 goes to extra. Then I have then I split the rest between mortgage and college, and that's how and so every time I sell something, those are the 4 or 5 categories I break it all up in. So be honest with you, if I buy something back, it really messes up, and I have to go back and change everything.
So you sell the put. You have a general idea of, okay, here's what everything's going to happen, and
this is how it's going. This is where it's divvied up, and and that's how I do it. That's just my own little way of doing it, and it keeps me honest, and it keeps me focused on what the real goal is. And the goal at the end of the day for me is to pay my mortgage, pay for college, and give to charity. Those are my big things. So if I can do all those things with trading, then life is good for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. That is huge. That is huge, huge. So I mean, I know last year you were profitable, and this year you'll be profitable as well. I mean, without a doubt.
I wasn't sure at the beginning of the year, but yeah, I'm getting there now.
Yeah, like I said, there's always those small drops. There's always those account pullbacks that you'll see from time to time.
Yep.
Yeah, just like the market, man, waves and flows.
Yeah.
So James has a good question. So he says, do you still play the lottery, and how much or so how often?
All right. Well, I'm a little superstitious. So we have two really big ones. We have Powerball, and then we have Mega Millions here in Connecticut. If either one of them get up to the 129 million, I start playing.
Sure.
Because that's what the lottery was. The day I won, it was 129 million. I didn't win that, but it was that was the number that day. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so here's a big question: had you won that much, would you? Do you think you would have quit your job, or would you still be?
Yes. Yes. No hesitation. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I play now, I always say to my wife, I said, if I hit even for another million, I'm out of there.
Yeah, that's right.
I know what I'm doing with it now. Having another million now would be huge. Now I'm much more prepared for it now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's huge, man. So glad. Like I said, that's wonderful. Wonderful stuff. And again, if anyone else has any questions for Bob, just feel free to throw them in the chat pane. I appreciate you guys throwing out those questions. I guess really, man, for me then, last question would probably be, are you going to be staying in that area where you live now after you retire, or are you going to move, or what does that look like?
We'll stay here until Jonah gets out of college. just because this is home, and for him, this is the only place he knows. So we'll stay here until he gets out of college, which is like 10 more years, all told, about 10 more years. So, and then we'll probably move south because we already have dreams. Most of my family and Jessica's family is in Florida. They're in they're in Delray Beach and all up and down the East Coast. So and my family as well is all down that way. And I have one brother in Georgia. So everybody's pretty much south. So we will probably go south at that point.
Gotcha. Do you know what part of Florida maybe?
Well, I have an area that I love. I love Sanibel Island on the West Coast. But I don't know if that's where I would go. My parents are on the East Coast, and most of our family's on the East Coast. So who knows? It's only 2 hours straight across Alligator Alley. So who knows? You never know what's going to happen in 10 years.
Yeah. No, of course. I totally get it, man. I love the plan. So Rob asked a question. He says, sorry if you talked about this earlier, I missed the beginning, but do you ever roll your put sales out and down?
I never do. No.
Okay.
I never do. I wouldn't even, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even know how to do that in my broker. That's all I can tell you. I've never even thought about it.
Gotcha. So you'll either just let it expire worthless, or you'll rarely buy the close. And if you get put to shares, you're okay with it anyway. Turn around and do covered calls on the actual stock itself. Out of those two strategies, which ones have you found most profitable? The actual put sales, or getting put the stock and then getting called away with a covered call?
Puts pay me a lot of money. So puts are it for me. That's where it's more profitable than anything. So
gotcha.
I've only really had one really profitable cover call that really panned out, and it really wasn't even a cover call. I got put to shares on PBYI, and then that was on a Friday, the Friday, and then I think Monday or Tuesday had a big announcement on a drug, and it went from $40 to like $70 or $80. This was last year. It went huge, and so I was holding the whole time. So I mean, it was a monster. I didn't even have a chance to sell. I think I did eventually sell a cover call and got called away, but I got called away at a huge profit. So
yeah,
and I mean those are rare. I mean honestly that was just luck. I mean, I'll call it what it is, but it was luck. So.
Sure. No, I mean, hey, that is beautiful. That's sometimes you gotta get lucky in trading.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
That's right, my man. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with TD Ameritrade, what do you pay? Do you know your commission per contract?
It's 75 cents.
Nice.
So yeah,
so you talk them down to that price, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, over time, there's been more and more money in the account, so it's easy to say, listen, I'm going to add some money, into the account, and here's what I want. Okay, here you go. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. If you have enough in there, they pretty much will do what you want for the most part. So
correct. Yeah, correct.
That's one of the things I learned too. When I was going to refinance my mortgage, way back when I had a big chunk of money in the bank, and I can remember saying to them, they were like, well, the interest rates are, 2.89% or whatever it was this is for a 15-year mortgage. And I said, well, that's more than I want to pay. I don't want to pay more than 2%. Yeah. They're like, well, I'm sorry, we can't do any business. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, I'll just pay off my mortgage. And, because I had the money in the bank, I'll just pay it off. I said, and you won't get any interest from me at all. I said, or you can refinance me for 15 years at 2%, and you'll get, I think it was like $40,000 at the end of the 15 years. So the choice is yours. It doesn't matter to me. Just let me know if I'm writing a check or not, basically. And they kind of, and they were like, yeah, okay. They're like, let me go talk to my bosses. And came back a little while later and said, we'd love to do business with you at 2%. So, there is power in having that ability.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Drake has a question for you. He says, how do you pick your puts, the strikes that you sell?
It depends on the stock. It really depends. Let's see if I can pull one up here that might that I've done recently that was a decent one.
Okay.
How about EDIT? Can you pull up
Okay.
that chart?
Sure.
And all right, I did one I sold one for the 25th, so would have been ending on the 25th. So I had picked. Let me see here. Yeah, I think it was down. It had come down into this just below the 100 here, and I think that's where I sold. I sold the 30. So I put down here below this support range, and I picked 30 as that, figuring that usually my thoughts are if it gets below that, breaks that resistance there, breaks that support rather, it would have to would have to take a lot to make it drop down that far. So it's make it a relatively safe bet. That's usually how I pick. I just kind of look and see where the congestion is to the left, and then decide, do I think I don't always look at where is it gonna go, but where is it not likely to go? It's kind of been my thought when I'm selling puts. Where is it not likely to go? And if I'm comfortable with that area, then that's where I'll sell. I mean, I think all of last year I only got put to shares 3 times all of last year. So
nice.
And I have been would have been put twice this year, but I bought them back. So which is new to my plan this year, buying them back. So.
Gotcha. So how much premium do you look to go for usually?
I have a goal in my head is roughly between $700 and $1,000 a week is my goal. So if I can bring in between $700 and $1,000 a week in premium, that's what I'm shooting for.
Okay, gotcha. So
it really doesn't have much. It doesn't have much bearing on if that's 1 stock or 2 stocks or 3 for the week. It doesn't matter as long as the end game is that number. I'm happy.
Right.
So, and I think that's this goes a little bit along with my, learning how to budget and so on. If I can bring in X amount of dollars, with my trading, then that fulfills that portion of my budget.
Yep.
So it's bill paying money, as we always talk about bill paying. Is this a bill paying trade or is it a long term trade? Well, if it's a put sale for me, it's a bill paying trade. Yep. The swing trades are all my fun trades, that I kind of let's see what's going to happen, and they're all bill paying trades, but really the put sales are my bill paying
trades. Absolutely. So are you doing cash secured puts, or are these on margin?
No, mostly on margin. So I mean, I have either way, but I have my own rule. I divide my account into thirds.
Yep.
And I have 1/3 always in reserve in case something really great comes up, and I have the other 2/3 that I'll use for selling puts. Now, most of my puts, as you can tell up on the list of the stocks where I was telling you about, most of them are between $15 and $50. I very rarely sell puts on anything over $50.
Gotcha.
Because I'm always looking for to have, if I would get put to shares, I want to make sure that the cash is in my account. I try not to use the margin. I mean, I have, but I try not to.
Yeah.
So it's my own little my own little rule for keeping me from getting in too deep. If it was selling something that was too risky, or just my way of keeping myself in check.
Totally understand. No, absolutely get it. Absolutely understand. That's always smart, and I'm very happy it's been working well for you, man. Super happy that you're up $15 for June. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Also very happy that 2018 turned around for you. I know you're going to end strong, so keep it up, man. Keep us posted. Let us know how your journey and your story continues from here. And if you have any questions, as always, I'm here to help. But man, thank you so much for being a part of this team and this family and this community. It's honestly an honor and privilege to have you a part of it.
Oh, thank you very much. It was nice to be able to share my story with everybody. I appreciate the time today.
Yes, dude, my absolute pleasure. Hey, dude, have a phenomenal rest of your week. Enjoy, and look forward to seeing all of your options expire this Friday.
Me too. Thanks a lot. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, man. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the man, the myth, legend himself, Mr. Bob Lafreniere, up there in the Connecticut area. I had the opportunity and the privilege of meeting him in Grand Central Station for the first time back in July of last year. but me and Bob have been trading together for really about the last 5.5, almost 6 years. Me, him, and his dad, actually. So really inspiring story. It's a beautiful, just gorgeous to hear the growth and the progress. And again, the big, strong takeaways that we all learned. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I am out fully of that RH trade. So restoration hardware, we're going to get it at some point. It's just going to kind of wick around for a while, but I think eventually it'll get some pullbacks on it. But Fed meeting stuff coming right around the corner. Didn't feel like holding it. Only half an hour loss between that. So I'll be down on the day small, but we've got some swing trades that are cooking in the fire right now, and hopefully those will continue working out well. So anyway, folks, it is Wednesday. I'll be back for Interview Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow is Thursday morning, so Brad will be rocking out the microphone Thursday morning, and then I'll be here Thursday afternoon, and then I will be on the microphone Friday morning from 9 to 12 Eastern, and then Blake will be there in the afternoon, and then Brad is doing the Finance Friday edition of the show. So, friends from around the world, thanks so much for being here. I truly appreciate you all, and until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.